Hey, and welcome to a recap video of the Kouri Richins case because next week will be Kouri Richins week. There will be 3 days of hearings of motions, pretrial motions in the Kouri Richins case. That's the case out of Utah, where Kouri Richins, who on the face of it was a pretty successful house swapper, or what you would call it, buy low, sell high, allegedly unalived her husband by spiking his Moscow mule with fentanyl. She got a lot of attention a year after his passing because she wrote a children's book and went on all the local and national media talking about how much her kids missed their father. And then she was later arrested. But because not all of you have been here the entire time, I'll just hit the highlights in the case so you are ready for next week's trial. So, what is the Kouri Richins case about? Well, first of all, we have Kouri Richins. She is Eric's widow, of course. She was doing these house swaps where she fixed up houses. She's charged with first-degree aggravated unaliving and drug-related offenses. And she also wrote that quite famous kids' book. She has been in prison. There's a lot of funny business going on around this woman. We have the dog, Walk the Dog book outline that she made, where anyone I have read it with and talked with it about sees it as a manual to how her brother should lie to the court about Eric's drug abuse, where she claims that whenever they went on vacation, Eric would hide drugs in her luggage and stuff like that. Whenever he went on his hunting and fishing trips, he was high all the time. She claims had nothing to do with it. It was just an outline for a book. But if you haven't watched the videos on it, go back and try and find some videos on Walk the Dog. It should be in my playlist somewhere. It's a manual how to lie to the court. Then we have Eric. Eric isn't here anymore because he OD'd on fentanyl, which is believed to be given to him by Kouri in a Moscow mule. He was a quite successful businessman, and the state claims the motive for this unaliving was money, because Kouri apparently was getting in over her head, running up a lot of debt, and wasn't able to find her way out of it. Then there is Eric's family. There have been a lot of conflict between Kouri Richins and Eric's family because the sister alleges that Kouri attacked her outside of the residence because she was the benefactor of Eric's estate. A thing that the state claims Eric had found out that Kouri was trying to change, so Kouri would be the benefactor of Eric's estate. That's why they claim there's the financial motive, because she was trying to get herself out of debt. There's also a little thing about her having a boyfriend at the time or around the time. So it's going to be a very interesting case if you like to get a little tabloid on it. But what are the motives in this case? As I mentioned, she was running up a lot of debt, and they believe, the state, that she was trying to get out of all of that debt by getting a payout on Eric's life insurance and getting money from his part of the business. But Eric had changed his will, changed his business agreement, so she wouldn't get anything. And I don't think she knew that. But the state believes Eric had found out she was trying to move against his assets behind the scenes, and that's why she did it, because they had a conflict about it. And there's some evidence suggesting that she has been planning the unaliving for some times, because there are her worker who bought her the fentanyl, who is a witness in the case, have claimed that she purchased fentanyl for her twice. And there are text messages between them about this purchase of fentanyl, which is probably, it's going to be an interesting thing. The defense will probably claim, well, it was to cover Eric's usage, but it'll probably line up right around the time when he passed away. And then there's the whole story about the kids' book, because that book, that's what made me think about what's going on here. This book, Are You With Me, is a book she wrote where she was talking about how her kids missed their dad. It became quite a success. It was mentioned, as I said earlier, on television. Now you can't find it anywhere. It was in Goodreads, it was everywhere, because she portrayed herself as this grieving widow with kids who really, really miss their dad. And it's kind of absurd if she's the one who made the kids miss their dad. But it's going to be interesting. It'll probably be out there as a part of it. But she pled not guilty, and as always on this channel, innocent until proven guilty. She have had to change her team of defense lawyers in the middle of it. There was some shenanigans going on with the previous lawyers as a farewell gift to the new lawyer. They claimed that the state was using not so nice ways of being prosecutors. The judge doesn't seem to like any of the people in this case. So it's going to be interesting to follow a full day and see how his demeanor will be. And it's I'm really looking forward to what the defense will be. I believe there'll probably be some kind of DV aspect of it, because of the, oh, he hid drugs in my luggage, and we know how it goes. And then there's the entire, oh, I'm a grieving widow, I wrote a book, but was I the one who did it? There's a lot of interesting things that can come out. But again, just a recap video to get you ready, because tomorrow at 9:30 is it Mountain Time in Utah, which will be 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. And if you're in Europe, it'll be 5:30 in the afternoon in Europe, 4:30 if you're in Britain. We will begin the coverage of the hearings if we can get a live feed from the courtroom and figure out what's up, what's down, what's allowed in, what's not allowed in. I think it's going to be an interesting case, because that whole aspect about writing a book after you potentially was the reason your kids were sad is what really caught me. But have a wonderful Sunday, and see you tomorrow.